Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we'll be looking at the Honda Accord with the turbo 4-cylinder. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Honda here in Murray for giving me some time with this car. I'll include a link to the website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood we have a turbo 1.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT. Fuel economy is 29 around town and then 37 on the highway, with power outputs being 192 horsepower and then 192 pound-feet of torque. Now before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you're going to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So the new Accord has a much boxier design compared to before. I mean, look at the hood, for example, a mass of boxiness, right? And then you've got very squared off headlights as well. You can see here with the grille being all blacked out, and then again, very upright, the Honda logo there. And overall, it's a good looking car. Now on the side here, our tire wheel setup is 225 by 50 by 17 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels completely blacked out with this particular package. Same thing with the mirror cap and then the window trim, which is good. I should say mirror caps, right? But there's your full side profile. That looks pretty cool. Now taking a look at the key fob, we've got our Honda logo there, if it'll ever focus. And then the other side, we've got our remote start, the opening for the trunk, lock and unlock, pretty normal setup. The trunk pops all the way open, which is a nice feature. We have these little pull tabs to throw it on the seats. But the storage space here, again, the Accord is a big car, right? Camry competitor. It's really good as it sits. When you're all done, just kind of plop that down. No spoiler on this particular package. Got this cool light bar design though, here on the back, which I find pretty exciting. And then as for the rest of the rear, it's kind of sloped back in that kind of Audi A7 type, kind of coupe-ish design. And then popping inside, it's really cool. So we've got nice trim here at the bottom, and then we've got these cloth seats. I like the design, kind of looks almost like a little bit retro in a way. And then popping in is easy. Got great room here in the back of the Accord. We also have some vents here, USB ports, a little storage pocket there for the other passenger. Yeah, this is nice trim here. It does slope back a bit, so that does get in the way of headroom some. And then this leads us to the front. So again, you can see here at the soft touch down below. We've got all of our window controls, front two are automatic. Mirror adjustments, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And here's the front seat again with the cloth. Pretty cool looking. It is power adjustable as well. And then you can see here with the soft touch on the dash, got the vent opening too. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see we've got kind of a more basic design, but nice texturing overall. We've got stuff like adaptive cruise control on the steering wheel with our lane centering, volume and voice command controls, and then traditional stocks here on the back. And then with the gauge cluster, you can see we've got a lot of digital elements happening. We can scroll through and see different bits of information here on both sides, which is very useful. You've got like, kind of like your media side and then your car information side, which I think makes the whole setup a little bit more user-friendly. Now there's quite a bit of glare because of the plastic wrapping on the screen, but we do have a backup camera here with trajectory lines. They do turn with the steering wheel. And this is Honda's entry-level infotainment, so it does have some touchscreen functionality, as you can see, but it also has a bunch of physical controls on the outside, but it's pretty basic. It's just like a radio, essentially, with the backup camera. Soft touch all over the dash and down below. So this is the nice part about this, especially with the vent design. It looks fancy. These controls, very nice actuation to them for the climate. Heated seats with this package. We also have some USB ports there. Shifter here for the CVT. Some cup holders. We've got our Econ mode. Auto stop start, parking brake with your brake hold. And then center console's got quite a bit of space. Nice trim here on the top of the center console. Got a manual mirror dimmer, and then this actually has a sunroof too. Quite a few features. Here's a quick look at our window sticker. This is a 1.5T SE. 31,655 is the MSRP, which I think is pretty impressive because it's a nice big car for 30 G's. Let's drive it. Okay, well, let's set off in the Accord. By the way, visibility slopes back in the rear a little bit, that hinders it somewhat, but it's actually pretty good overall. Now this is a pretty cool setup, right? 30 grand gets you a nice big sedan. Man, that's a slogan. 30 grand gets you a nice big sedan. Pay me royalties, Honda, pay me royalties. But yeah, it's pretty solid. And you know, I've been, because of my job, I meet a lot of different people. Sorry, I gotta adjust this. This GoPro feels like it's way off today. I meet a lot of different people and, you know, talk to them about car stuff, right? And it's not, some of it's car people, but a lot of it's just, you know, your average Joe. And what a lot of people are telling me is they kind of want more basic cars, but they don't want basic cars that, it's weird. It's like they want basic, but not at the same time. And what it kind of looks like is what this car is. So something that has good space, right? That's what a lot of people want with the cars. They want something that's spacious, but still gets good fuel economy, and that's what this provides. But then has some niceties. So like heated seats, a lot of people want that. Dual zone climate, a lot of people want that. Not a necessity. That's not as much of a necessity as heated seats, from what I've gathered from people. And then yeah, people like, you know, adaptive cruise control and stuff, little features like that. But they don't want big tablet infotainment system. They don't want massaging, you know, massaging seats are nice, but they don't really care about all that stuff. And then like all of the, you know, people like adaptive cruise control and lane centering. They don't like all the rest of the nannies, like the lane departure warning and you know, the rear collision assist. Now obviously you can turn a lot of that stuff off in cars, but the point I'm trying to make is, you know, there's kind of a picking and choosing in terms of what people want with a car. And it's always been interesting to see. But this, like I said, how this is packaged out is pretty much what a lot of people want. Basic radio camera system, and not too much, like enough tech, right, to where you don't feel like you've been transported back to 1900, but not too much. Good power. And I will say, some people like myself wouldn't mind if we got transported back to like the 1990s for cars, but then had some more modern stuff with it, which that's kind of what some of the more baseline Hondas do in a way, because, you know, again, it's got some tech like touchscreen and backup camera and everything, but it's not too much. I mean, you could almost put this car in the 1990s and it would be kind of like a somewhat like, because they had some digital stuff back then, somewhat kind of futuristic take on a car, but it wouldn't be too mind-blowing, I don't think. So overall, the Accord drives well. It's comfortable, and you guys saw it's got pretty decent power. The hybrid is better in terms of the acceleration and fuel economy. I think the Honda's kind of wants people to buy the hybrid Accord, but they still offer this for people that want a more affordable Accord. But yeah, putting it all together, it's a nice car. It looks pretty good, and it drives well, and you can get it fancy or affordable, right? You can get fancy one that's over 40 grand, or you can get this more affordable one that again is 30 G's. And the last thing I'll say to cap things off, I said this in the past, I do still think that Honda should offer this with all-wheel drive. I do think that would help out because, and frankly, just to be competitive with Toyota, because whenever I'm telling you, whenever I talk to people, whenever I look at Google search history and everything, the comparison that is always there is Honda versus Toyota, Honda versus Toyota. And so when Toyota has all-wheel drive and Honda doesn't, right, I do think that that is something that Honda should at least consider. That's my personal take. But let me know what you guys think about the Turbo Accord, but I think this is a great $30,000 car.